As the Moon continued its slow retreat from Earth, reaching distances of around 200,000 miles some 3 billion years ago, its pull on our oceans remained profound. Though the tidal effect was gradually weakening with distance, it still held enough influence to fundamentally reshape the chemistry of Earth's seas, and perhaps spark the very beginning of life itself. At this point in history, Earth was already rich in water. Oceans covered much of the planet's surface, and the ingredients for life — carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur — were present. But it wasn't just a matter of ingredients. These elements needed energy, turbulence, and time to combine into complex molecules. And it was the Moon's tidal forces that provided this essential turbulence, acting as a planetary spoon stirring the primordial soup. Each time the Moon passed overhead, it pulled on Earth's oceans, raising tides that were still hundreds, sometimes thousands of feet high. These tides were not slow or gentle. They moved like massive walls of water, sweeping inland for miles, carrying minerals, organic material, and heat with them. When they retreated, they dragged debris back to sea, mixing everything into a chaotic but potent chemical cocktail. This continuous churning of the oceans didn't just influence the sea, it sculpted the land. Tides scraped coastlines, carved estuaries, and created tidal pools, isolated shallow bodies of water that evaporated and refilled day after day, cycle after cycle. Many scientists believe these pools may have been the ideal environment for the origin of life. As the pools dried, compounds became concentrated. When they refilled, they mixed again, creating new chemical combinations. Through these repetitive cycles, simple organic molecules could form, grow, and most crucially, replicate. Some researchers believe that early strands of RNA or proto-DNA may have first formed under such conditions, and the rising and falling of water levels, caused by the Moon, may have facilitated a key event in life's emergence: the splitting and copying of early genetic material. Like the opening and closing of a zipper, fluctuating salt concentrations and drying cycles could have forced strands to unzip and reassemble, a primitive form of replication, the fundamental property of life. In this way, the Moon wasn't just a stabilizer of Earth's tilt or a protector from asteroids. It may have actively engineered the chemistry of life by driving the physical conditions necessary for molecular evolution. Without these extreme tides, stirred by a nearby moon, Earth's oceans might have remained chemically stagnant, and life might have taken far longer, or never emerged at all. Moreover, those early tides did more than nurture biology. They helped calm the violently spinning Earth. As we've explored before, Earth's rapid rotation after the moon-forming impact caused atmospheric instability. Days lasted just 6 hours, and the winds were unimaginable, more like permanent global hurricanes than passing storms. Atmospheric scientist Neil Commons notes that wind speed on early Earth was tied directly to rotation speed. With the planet spinning 4 times faster than it does today, wind systems circled the globe at terrifying velocities. Today, hurricane winds reach 100 to 150 miles per hour and last a few days. Imagine that same intensity as a daily condition, never ceasing. Nothing large or complex could evolve in that chaos. But the Moon's gravity slowly tamed this tempest. Through the constant drag of tides, it exerted torque on Earth's spinning body. Over billions of years, this drag stretched Earth's day from 6 hours to 12, then 18, and finally to the 24-hour cycle we know today. As the spin slowed, wind systems calmed. Climate patterns stabilized. The atmosphere, once turbulent and violent, became a more hospitable envelope around the planet. With this new stability, primitive life was no longer just surviving. It had a chance to diversify, specialize, and evolve. This wasn't just about temperature and storms. Climate regulation affected light exposure, seasonal rhythms, and ecological niches. It allowed photosynthetic organisms to flourish, oxygenating the atmosphere. It enabled food chains to develop and made possible the eventual evolution of complex multicellular organisms. So we begin to see a full picture emerge. The moon is not just a passive companion in the night sky. It is an active force in Earth's biological history. It set the stage, created the conditions, and orchestrated the tempo of evolution itself. By the time we reach 2.5 billion years ago, Earth is already beginning to look familiar. Oxygen-producing bacteria are transforming the atmosphere. Life is no longer confined to tide pools. The continents are shifting, volcanoes are active, and deep in the oceans, new ecosystems are thriving. All of it unfolding under the steady, ever-receding gaze of the moon. And still, its work is not yet done. While its tidal grip has loosened, its influence persists, not only in the rhythms of the sea, but in the behavior of certain animals, the synchronization of reproductive cycles, and even, perhaps, the hidden pulses of human emotion. But before we dive into these mysteries, we must first finish understanding what the moon truly gave us: a world that could breathe, evolve, and survive itself.